Bless up, Roots Reggae Hub Massive. We're live to air. Second time today I did that. We're live to air on rootsreggaehub.com. We have a special interview tonight. It's 8 p.m. You know what that means? It's Melody Mondays with Shane and McCullough. I am interviewing Abia tonight. I'm excited to interview the Empress. This is her new track with Shocking Murray. Big tune. How's everybody feeling? Share the link. Songstress, a beautiful songstress. This is a big track. I'm playing it all the time here on Roots Reggae Hub. Let me know how you're feeling today. Share the link. I'm going to share this link as well with Abia so I can get to know the Empress and reason with her tonight. And so much more global movements here on the Roots Reggae Hub. If you're tuned in on the radio, come over and join us on Instagram. The Empress is here now. All right.
Sorry.
That's okay. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing excellent, darling. I'm so happy to talk to you about your music. I've been listening to you, and I love your vibe, and you seem so down to earth, and you speak important messages in your music.
Yes, thank you.
Very
so
important messages that I think the people need to hear. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm excited. Tell me a little bit about who you are in your own words for all the listeners on the radio, as well as anyone coming in to join us here on Instagram as well. Who is Abia in your own words?
All right. Well, I'd say I'm just a woman who has recently discovered her identity, and therefore now understanding who I am and understanding that there are so many with similar history background as I am. I want to use music as a vehicle to share that message to others. So
you're such a bright shining star. I love that.
Thank you.
And it does come across as well in your music that you're on a mission, it seems. Tell me a little bit about your roots and foundation. I love to start, at the root of a tree when I get to know each artist and reason with them. I like to know why, who made you who you are today. Tell me about your family life growing up, your childhood. How was that?
Okay, sure. Some of my nieces are actually online right now.
Nice.
Yasmin and Faith, yes. and they are all a part of this mission that I'm on right now. They've all made up who I am today. So I was born, I was birthed Nicole Christian, my birth name, in Dominica. And that is the Commonwealth of Dominica, okay? It's not Dominica Republic. That's a different island, Dominica. So we are between two French islands, Martinique and Guadeloupe. We speak English, but we also speak a sort of Creole that sounds like Haitian Creole. It's similar, best I can explain, yeah. So I was raised in a musical family. My mom, she was a choir instructor at the school that she taught. My mom was a teacher, and she also taught in the choir. She was a choir conductor. So, from since in the womb, I am being prepped and ready for all this music mission, that I'm meant to do. So there was always music in the house. My father, who studied agriculture in Trinidad and Tobago, he came back with calypso. So we had various genres. If y'all don't know calypso, look it up. So he came back with Trinidad calypso. I fell in love with calypso. My mom always played reggae music, Marcia Griffith, Bob Marley, of course.
Yeah.
Lucky Dubby, my mom, and she adored Lucky Dubby. So I was heavily, and my brothers, they would listen to Capleton, Sizzler, so I had a heavy influence of reggae music. I also had influences in our local genres, Kadas, Bouyon music. There's something we call Bouyon, Bouyon, in Dominica. Yeah, so I had all that, and my sister enjoyed the 80s. So you see the styles of Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, Celine Dion. Um, so with all this going on, um, we were a family who just enjoyed all these genres of music. And my brother eventually learned how to play the keyboard. I just naturally fell into the singing role, in the family. So from since I was 5 years old, I was a part of the choir at the primary school, the elementary school I went to. My mom was a choir instructor, so she was my instructor. On to high school, more singing. More singing again at the schools and whatnot. However, in Dominica, with all your lovely dreams of wanting to be a musical artist, singing at that time was just seen as a hobby. So I had to choose a career. So after high school, I went on to study business in college, and then it was at university because I always wanted to help people throughout my life, even with my dreams and aspirations of being an artist. I think my family really shaped because we had a large family. We have a large family, nieces, nephews, it's extended family. Everybody lived together when I was growing up. So sharing, caring, and loving, gratitude was always instilled in our mindsets. So I always wanted to do something that helps people, you know. So I chose social work, which brought me to University of the West Indies in Barbados, where I got my bachelor's degree in social work. And it was then that my life changed. Like it was in university because I was a Christian the whole time. I went to church, I was a part of the worship team as well. Gospel music, Yolanda Adams,
Oh, yes.
huge influence in my sound today. But I always ask questions. Is what we learn in church, in life, in society, has it always been true? And we learned a lot of history at university about back into the slave trade and all that. And I was so like traumatized again, the transatlantic slave trade, which brought all these horrors to our people, birthed an entire new society, a Western Hemisphere, with policies, laws, rules that we live under today. So it was then when I went back, I was like, what were our people doing before we fell into this predicament? And that's where I discovered that our people have a strong connection to the nation of Israel. And this is why I say, now that I have discovered my identity, I'm using the music as a vehicle to share that with everyone.
Yes.
So
yes, kudos.
Woo, that was long.
I love that. Life is a journey of self-discovery.
I tell you.
Yeah. And every day I try to learn something new. I'm an open a sponge, I guess you could say. I like to soak up all the information that I can and learn from everybody that I interact with or I speak to. And there's an opportunity for learning with even from a stranger, So I love that you shared that, and that's your journey. And when did you realize, okay, you have this education, you're clearly an intellect, when did you say, okay, I'm going to put music, I'm going to do music, I'm going to release music, because you could have always fall back on your social work. You always have that. You have the, the education behind it, the certificate. So what made you say, okay, I have this mission, I have this story, and what drove that passion for music?
Good question. It was coming back to my country in the process of looking for a job, in the process of rediscovering my identity, heavily guided by scripture, the Bible, and feeling the strain of, when you study social work, they kind of train you to see pain. So when I came back in the midst of looking for a job, struggling to get a job, struggling to pay student loan, right? Okay. Um, and then eventually, throughout this time of getting jobs and whatever, I am hearing all these people because I'm a social worker, so I hear a lot of stories, of people who are in so much pain and hurt, and I'm like sitting behind the desk, listening to all this, uh, um, and knowing that behind someone's smile, oh my gosh, you just never know what someone is going through.
Yeah.
I just felt restricted that I felt restricted, and I was like, you know what, it's time for me to get back into this music because music is such a mass transport. You understand? Like it reaches far and beyond. So I felt like being behind the desk was not enough. So um, so it was after 2017 we experienced the Hurricane Maria, devastated our country flat. You understand? More pain, more struggling, people not being able to build back their homes. 2018, my husband and I, by the way, he was with me, like he's sitting right there. He was with me, for university, and he's a musician himself. He was raised same, situation, musical family and what's not. So we got married by then, and we decided, you know what, it's time for us to spread that same message that we want to heal, to help heal these same hurt people through music. And from 2018, 2019, we started to work together. And 2020, during the pandemic, we really became consistent in releasing singles upon singles. And here we are today.
I love it. I love that. I love that you took that time to reassess and to do something that you really, really aspired to do. A lot of people, either work for them or they took the time to do something completely new, leave their job, their current situation. Some people were forced to leave their job, and they found something that they're truly passionate about. And I always say, make the decision to follow your vision. A good friend of mine always says that as well. So I kind of stole that from her. But yes, make the decision to follow your vision. I'm glad you decided that in 2020, amongst all the chaos. you
Absolutely.
know, tell me, what inspires you most in life. And I want to talk about the new track, Reasoning with the Wind, with Shocking Murray, the concept for the song, production.
Okay, so what inspires me most? I mean, it really goes back to rediscovering that we are we are, a people who of royalty and a holy nation, rediscovering my identity. So, like a lot of my lifestyle now has been readjusted now that I dig into scripture for what it is. So this is what really inspires me the most, really and truly, the word of Yah, the word of Yahweh, I should say. Scripture, definitely my identity, our identity, I should say, yes. Because it's in my music all the time. So it's all over my music all the time. So yes.
How did the collaboration come about with Shocking Murray? Did you guys meet? Did you guys discuss to do this? Was it like, how did that work out?
Oh, Shocking Mirai, who lives in Germany, did we meet? It was the same, during the pandemic. We're doing all this music and we are linking and networking with all these people, different artists and whatnot. So yes, Shocking Murray connected with us online because he saw the music. We knew his music for a little while before, but he saw the music, he linked. He from then in 2020 he wanted to do a collaboration. So we've been trying to work this for a while now, and I'm so happy. He did his part, sent it over to me, and I felt like the chorus that I did and the verse that I did just fit the message he was trying to push. A message of wanting to be in a state of joy, peace, and happiness. Because remember, back then it was rough. We were in fear, like we didn't know what was going on. So it was in that same spirit that we wrote this song. And now we have it for you guys today.
I love the song. You sound like a beautiful songstress. Your voice is like a, the sound of a bird. You sound beautiful in the
Thank
song.
you.
And your voices work together really, really well. They complement each other very, very well. And I love that you have the different backgrounds with the different genres, and you have the calypso. I love calypso. I love that you have these influences because it shows your versatility as well as an artist. You're very versatile. You can jump into different genres. And it just seems like, you have so much to offer as far as your talent goes. Reasoning with the Wind is a wonderful. I was playing it on the intro for people on the radio. I was playing it. I can't play out the songs on full, like in full here on Instagram because they don't like it. There's rules against it. But I have put together a curated playlist of all your music that I could find,
Oh,
including some calypso because we like that here on Roots Reggae Hub. And
nice.
after following our reasoning tonight, there's going to be a special playlist of all of your music. So everyone who's tuned in here on Instagram, you can also go to rootsreggaehub.com, following our reasoning, and hear all the tracks in full. And yeah, take in, your versatility. I love that about you. It was clearly a choice, a creative choice, but also an influenced choice by, where you are, where you're located.
Definitely.
Tell me about, the promised land that you speak of. I'd love to know more.
Oh, one of my calypsos.
Yeah.
All right. So, in prophecy and in a lot of reggae music as well, you would hear about, let's go back to Africa. Let's go back to Israel, let's go back to Africa. And this for me, when I speak whenever I sing something, I talk about the physical and I also talk about the spiritual aspect. So the promised land, like physically, like I really yearn to go back to Africa. I really like because I've never seen, to me it's like a home I never knew, I feel like there's something great waiting for me. I've never known it. I came from there. My bloodline is from there. Like I have to get to know somewhere in Africa. So it's like that for me, going back to that promised land and also going back to the promised land of what we were originally created to do. We are going to go back to living in peace and harmony. We were once a people who were kings and queens, lest we forget. We were once a nation who were the example to other nations. Way back in Africa, if we can go back to that, like He's calling me, Yahweh is calling me, it's time to go home, to go back to that mindset. And then hopefully, physically, we can actually go back to that unity we used to have within us and that power and that authority we used to have within us. That's it.
I like your song too, Ito Farmer. It does speak a good. I was like, oh, this song is great because it speaks to some of the corruption and whatnot in the world, and it's so timely because everything cost of living is going up, especially here in Canada. I don't know what's happening where you are, but I'm pretty sure it's a global thing that's happening with the
Absolutely.
right. It's getting crazy. Everything has gone up here. Groceries, rent. The average rental in Toronto is like over $2,000 a month for an apartment building. Like for an apartment that's like a 1-bedroom, or you're not. It's getting hectic here. So, and I know it's like that other places in the world. I love the Ito Farmer because I'm ready to pack up my stuff and go exactly where somewhere
Me
nice and
first.
I'm telling you, we'll meet there. I'll pack my bag while you pack yours. We'll meet. And where there's more opportunity and lots of land and warm weather,
Yeah.
and so many countries to choose from.
That's what I mean. Like I mean, you remember when Marcus Garvey spoke of Africa for the Africans? Now I'm sure he wanted to bring the concept of let us check each other from now on. Because you see this craziness that's going on around us? Like, we need to stop. In the midst of that craziness, we really do need to stop hurting each other, our people. We see it on the media, how our people slander each other, our own people, So, let's now we have to think about self-sufficiency, sharing with each other, looking out for one another as a nation, because in the midst of that, I don't know if, the systems really, really have ever known how to manage our lives effectively, because throughout centuries, our people have suffered no matter what, no matter which president, no matter which prime minister, no matter, our people have suffered throughout the years, So now it's time for us to maybe not kind of like, stray our focus back to one another and what made us a mighty people, what made us a great nation.
Yes. Oh, there's so much that we still need to do to unify, to truly unify, I think. Today's a special day. It's Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And, you speak of Marcus Garvey, and these are leaders for a cause, revolutionaries with a purpose, and, people that we still look up to sort of carry the torch today. Do you think we've achieved what Martin Luther King inspired to do? And Marcus Garvey, there's still some work to be done. Maybe. What do you think? Where are we right now in the process?
That's a good question, because I'm sure the daily attack that happened on our people back then, I cannot say if it's the same today, on how much, or how should I say? Back then, like it was real and it was out, and it was this pool for the whites, this pool for the blacks, Back then it was obvious. This bathroom for the whites, this bathroom for the blacks, right?
Yes.
I feel like that is now covered by perhaps, I don't know, something else in the air, because we're not experiencing that actual segregation that went on, the obvious segregation that went on, but it shows its face still, like I think the statistics show that our people are still the ones who are locked up. I think more than any other. I also think that as far as the, I also think that as far as other things like police brutality, the economic situation of our people, and that's another thing. He wanted equality for all, but we were not even equal in resources, as also. So the access to services that we would love to have, we don't have the resources for that, because we were never given any form of,
Yeah,
pay or
yes,
anything.
and when we did build something of our own, it was destroyed. Like, look what they did to Black
Exactly.
Wall Street.
Exactly. Exactly. Is it Tulsa? Tulsa?
Yeah.
The name of the place I'm trying to remember. Right. Exactly. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, see what happened when our people decided to work together. See, like a Black Wall Street was created, and it was so mighty that someone found it necessary to destroy that. That's how powerful we are. You understand? Like to me, it now is the time not to run away from that. Now is the time to start rebuilding back these things, rebuilding back these ideas that Martin Luther had, that Marcus Garvey had, because the statistics show that whatever the system has put in front of us, we still have the short end of the stick,
Yes. Or you just pick up and move. Like, this is what I'm starting to focus on now, because I spoke to Janine earlier today, which was 2 months in the making, and she's in Tanzania and living a wonderful life over there. I mean, not everyone's able to pick up and leave, but you can work towards something, you
Of
know.
course.
Yeah, we can work towards something. But I love what you said about carrying on for Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, and you know, there's so many to name. That's just the ones that are popularized, but there's many revolutions
True.
as well in Africa. Jomo Kenyatta and lots of other people that have paved the way. So I had to take a moment to talk about Dr. Martin Luther King on the
Sure.
on our reasoning today, and in your music too. In a lot of ways, you're a revolutionary yourself because of the message that you're spreading, and you're raising, you know, the knowledge and the frequency behind your music is very powerful. It can move people in the right directions. That's what I love. And that's why I
Okay.
reached out. I was like, I have to talk to this Empress. Knows a lot. She is wise. I hear her music. I hear the lyrics. You know, you're being very particular in what in your message, and it shows a lot of thought and care has been put into your songwriting. Um, Tell me about Bloodshed in the City. How did that song come to be?
Well, that was during the time when I believe Israel, back in the during the pandemic, where there was this whole shakeup between Gaza, the Palestinians, and Israel, right? So um, we know that Jerusalem is the promised land, and it stirred the thought that, yeah, um, there was really bloodshed, there was really bombs going on between Israel and the Palestinians at that time. I couldn't believe it. Hallelujah! You know, it was short-lived, you know, at that time, and it brought me back to that prophecy that um, in Revelation, where there will be bloodshed, there will be diseases in various places, you know, there will be a lot of destruction going on. And that is when we know this is the beginning of the end. Like, that's when we know those who have decided to walk a righteous life, to remain on the path that we were first born and naturally meant to live, that spiritual path that we were supposed to develop and you know, and live as a people. If we stick on that path, like we're gonna be saved. We're gonna be saved. No, peace till Shiloh returns, but we will be saved, and that's the only thing I know that's gonna save us. And remember, again, we were in that same mindset of you know, being unsure of what is going on. There was the pandemic, and then another thing came out during that time as well, and we're like, are you kidding me? And you know, and then one time we're locked down, another time we're kind of not locked down. So
It's been a
so that
journey. It's really been
yeah.
a journey. It's been a crazy journey, and it still isn't. It's still evolving. I would like to say. Things have gone from different levels to the next. King's Queen's record. He says in this comment, MLK helped to destroy the economics of the African community by advocating for integration. Before integration, Africans had wealth. They supported each other. Our families were rich. I do agree with that to an extent. Martin Luther King, he was definitely, I feel he was used. I don't think he was aware of it fully, how he was being used at the time, but he was, because of his influences, he was able to garner somewhat of a peace. And people looking at integrating as a good thing, I think had something to do with it too. There was strength in building our own economy, building our own banks, building our own Black Wall Street, as I mentioned. And there's still strength to having things of our own, especially looking at the great cities and the ancient cities that were built all over Africa, and you know, the structures that are still there today to prove the knowledge and the wisdom of, you know, physics, mathematics, and you know, so many things that are on display there to see when you travel all over the world that are built by Africans. But I feel that comment is pretty close, but just based off of some of the things that aren't spoken of, but it doesn't lessen what he has done for many people. Um, yeah. Thank you for the comments. Everybody, anyone that has a question, you can ask a question in the little question box on the right-hand side of the screen. If you have a question for Abia, yes.
Also, let me just say, yeah, I saw that King Queen's Records also stated that where I'm speaking of Israel is the state of Israel, and he's just edifying me in that matter. Actually, I know that this Israel that currently exists is the state of Israel. I'm talking about, like, trying to see what's going on in the physical is inspiring me to remember the land of Jerusalem, where in time that these are the things that are going to be spoken of, the destructions and whatnot. It's going to be a wasteland before the children of Israel come back. And all this is like scripture. So
Yeah, you know what?
Revelation.
Everybody has been displaced, to tell you the truth. The people that are in certain
Exactly.
places in the world now are not the occupants of those places hundreds of thousands of years ago, as we see. I'm living proof. I'm here in Canada. It's cold as hell right now. My body is like getting dry skin every day. My skin's getting pale. Like, I'm not supposed to be here, I'm born in Canada, but I'm definitely not supposed to be here. Let's be real. Um, Based on the climate and the fact that I start to shed some type of, I don't know what's going on with my skin right now. I need the sun. I'm a melanated being. I need the sun.
That's why you have to come over to
Yes,
Dominica.
I would love to come to Dominica. Oh my gosh, I would love to come there. So yeah, the people that are there in certain countries were not the original, the people that were there. It's a part of migration, and colonization as well, and and globalization and discovery, and Africans were traveling the world long before the stories they tell
Of
in the
course.
history books. But I want to talk a little bit more about your music, of course, and get to reason with you a little bit more. Tell me, in your creative process, what comes first, the lyrics typically, or the rhythm?
Uh, so sometimes, like, I would be given a rhythm, so the rhythm comes first, and then I get the melody and then the words. But no, other times it just different, it varies. And then other times it will start with a melody most times and put words to that melody. So yes.
I love that. So do you just start to hum a melody that catches in your mind or in your head? Like, is it, and then you create the words for the melody?
Maybe if I'm like washing the dishes or something, and my husband's playing some music in the background, and more than likely reggae music, because we just love to listen to reggae music to sharpen our skills, right?
Yes.
Upon that, meditating on that, the chord changes and whatnot, a melody will come. Yeah, a melody will come, and then after, I will align that to perhaps something that I saw in the morning, how I'm feeling, a situation that I experienced that day or recently, yeah, or the news, something I saw on social media, would inspire what it is that I write about.
Yes. All right. When you say Bun Babylon, what's your opinion on that? You do say that in some of your songs. How can we go about doing that on a regular?
This one is like, in your mindset, your mindset. It took me a little while to say that in a song, because I didn't want people thinking like, let's go light up some houses and use a.
You didn't want to create arsonists.
It's the mindset.
Metaphorical, but it's up.
Yes. It's the mindset, like, a lot of the practices, a lot of the trust that we put within the system, like the dependency that we have within the system, it's just chanting that till it becomes real, till we become entrepreneurs ourselves. till we find a way to use our gifts to finance our lives. That's what I'm saying. To develop as also a spirituality, something that diet, because even, by the way, even discovering that we are descendants of the nation of Israel, a lot of things had happened, like in my life. I changed diets, I keep the Sabbath now. I used to go to church on Sunday, so all that, all that is what we do in action. When I write Burn Babylon, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Actions.
Yeah.
Definitely actions.
Not action of burning fire. No, don't.
No, but burning fire, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
Fun fire.
Yeah.
Tell me, well, we talked a lot about your spirituality, and I was going to ask you, something that might have happened that changed your perspective, but I think you've touched on that a little bit. Talk to me about Life is Free, that song. I do love the song. And, we should be free as human beings. We should be free to, free to be mobile, free to move, and free to live, and free to, the oxygen in the air should be free. We should have more freedom, I feel like. I mean, people
Exactly.
say all the time, oh, we're free here in the Western world, but I've seen a lot of freedoms be taken away these last 3 years. So tell me about Life is Free, the idea for the song. Where did it come from, and the concept and the production?
Yeah, well, my life again in the shortcomings that comes with not being able to access certain resources, or and seeing that manifesting within I shouldn't say manifesting, but seeing that when I depended on a job to supply my needs, the job within the system, it's not enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's not enough. It's a struggle to survive financially, to pay the bills, to pay the loan, the student loan. Economically, things stop, and that is the case for, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the case for a lot of people throughout the world, And I remember having that conversation with my husband. Nobody made the land, right? No human on earth created the soil, the trees, but they want to tell us where we can go and where we cannot go. They want to, they want to, that's just me in my free thinking, They want to, you need this to travel to this country. You need another thing to travel to another. And I'm like,
Now they
but
tried to
none
tell
of
you
that.
what you should put in your body as well. Now your body's not even yours. No, I don't get it.
All that. So I'm like, but life is free though. Like, I didn't have to pay any money to be here, but I'm here. And I thought that we would have known that what we need is to share. Okay? We did not create this. We met it here. Can we share it? So, me in my free thinking mindset, I was just like, life is free, but it's just such a struggle for a lot of people around the world, to make ends meet.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love the track. I do want to play a little bit of some of the tracks. I'm trying to decide which one I'm going to play here. Since I did already play The Reasoning with the Wind on the intro, maybe I'll play Love in My Heart. I do love Love in My Heart. It's such a beautiful song. You sound beautiful. I really also love Seek First.
Oh, nice.
Such a lovely song. I'm going to play a little snippet of maybe both of them. Tell me what the past year has taught you. The last 2022, I guess you could say. And what's the biggest lesson learned that you can share with us?
Okay. That I am sorry, I need to drink some water.
Yeah, drink some.
That
I have some here too as well in this month.
right? By the way, guys, this is local Twapita water.
Nice.
We are a mountainous island, so that I have to be patient. I have to be patient. I think you plan to perhaps prepare and understand that sometimes your plan can just come crashing down, but it's for your own good. So I learned to be patient for the past, because I had to sit myself. I guess everyone had to do it, but from since 2020, we sat down and we sat down and we had plans that we had to crash and do away with, my husband and I, because remember we were getting back into the groove of music in 2020. So we had all these plans to do all these things. Instead, though, it worked out so much better, and I've seen through the year that, and through the months, that whatever my plan is, even if it didn't come through to the T as I imagine it, like most times it turned out better, so I just have to be patient, because I have goals, I want to achieve in life. I have goals. Some of them have been, but I have to understand that I'm not the one driving. Some of them are gonna come your way. Be patient.
What do you envision for 2023? What do you see yourself maybe doing this year? Or are you leaving it open-handed and sort of welcoming whatever's to be?
Half and half. I mean, I think more welcoming whatever is to be, and also doing what I have to do. Because I feel like our creator is at the wheel and he's driving me to certain stops. And when I get to my stop, I just have to be prepared and do what I'm supposed to do at each stop. And then when I'm done here, he's gonna continue driving. So, I'm preparing to release my first EP as Abia Israel, my first reggae EP as Abia Israel. So, like that's a huge, like we planning, and that's a huge thing. And in my mind, like I feel like it's gonna expand my reach. That's gonna help me expand my reach, and develop this music journey even more, applying more wisdom to this journey, so I can have a greater reach this year. That is my plan. So you know what? check me 2024 to see how that went.
Oh, I'm excited because I want to get the EP first. You know it. I'm going to be playing it on RootsReggaeHub.com. I'm going to be supporting all of your movements, all your global movements moving forward and beyond. So I can't wait to hear more about the EP, and make sure you keep me up to date on the release date. Oh, Shocking Ray is here.
Yes!
I was playing your track on the intro. Maybe I should play a little bit of it now that he's joined us again. And some people are joined us late. So let me play the track for you now that he's here. Everybody who's tuned in. Beautiful track. Keep it locked here at RootsReggaeHub.com. I have a live evening with
falling from my heart. This is what I said out the window. What is happening in this world make me cry. Oh, we gonna survive in a time like this. And the wicked mankind like this. Then see the movement through the trees. Oh gosh, this is what I said to the breeze. Take me to a place where there is no home. Take me to a place where there is no pain. I wanna go where there is no more suffering.
Such a beautiful track by the both of you. Oh, I'm playing this song every single day on the radio. I love the track. Someone's asking, what's your YouTube? What's your YouTube?
Abia7. If you just search for ABIYAH, the number 7, you're gonna find me. You're gonna find me.
Yes, we also have a YouTube page, Roots Reggae Hub, where all our past interviews are on. This interview as well is going to be on Roots Reggae Hub as well. Yes, a BS7. And you're also a BS7 on Twitter as well, so everybody can find you. ABIYAH. For anyone who's wondering the spelling, who might not be tuned in here on Instagram. For our radio listeners who's not joining us on the gram for whatever reason, you know where to find the Empress. Shocking Ray, that I love your track. Send me all your music. I want to hear more tracks from Shocking Ray for sure. There's another question here from Kings Queens Records. Abia, are you familiar with Dominican reggae artist Lioness Fonts, who is based in the UK?
No, no. And is she from the Commonwealth of Dominica though? If she is, I mean, I'm shocked I don't know her. I'm gonna check her out.
I wonder if he means Dominican or Dominica.
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
But I will still check her out. Thank you.
Yes, I always want to check out new artists. Anybody that sends me links to new artists, I'm always looking for, the hidden gems like yourself.
Thank you.
I love the track. Tell me somewhere in the world, in this big wide world that we have going on here, where you'd like to travel for fun, for leisure, or to perform even.
Oh my goodness. Okay, sorry, he says he's from Barbados. He knows, yes. If he's from Barbados, he knows the difference. He knows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anywhere, I guess Kenya first, Kenya. I want to experience the different states in Africa. I really do, to find. And I was watching the interview with Janine, so like she was saying, you have to come and experience the place to see if it is right for you. But my first connection to the mainland was with a Kenyan producer. His name is Hopton Blaze, and he lives in Germany now. So he worked on Herb Tree and Calabash Running Over. These two tracks are on his rhythms. So because we just immediately connected and we started work, we trust each other from the minute, and we started to work together because he saw my work on Instagram. That was probably 2018, 2019. Yeah, and these two songs, Herb Tree and Calabash Running Over, are so dear to my heart. I just automatically feel like, okay, then I have to visit Kenya. I have to perform in Kenya. I have to live.
Live in Kenya.
I don't know
exactly.
I have to buy a house in Kenya.
Yes. Janine was talking about the tours and everything. I'm ready to tour. Take me around, Janine. Show me where my new house is gonna be.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. I can't. I love that. Yeah, Kenya is on my list. Definitely. I would love to see you, of course, come perform here, but I would wait for the summertime because the weather's not too nice in the winter time.
Thanks for telling me that.
We're having a mild winter. It's only, -2 or 3 degrees. That's mild for us here in Toronto. So normally it's -2, yeah, Celsius, of course.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah, yes. Tell me about the track, Love in My Heart. I'm going to play a little snippet of the song. It's a beautiful track. So it gives me the feels, when I listen to the track, and I feel happier, and I'm I can tell it's raising my energy, my vibration. How did you come about the concept for that song?
Okay, well, this song was produced by Lavoro Duro from South Africa, and I believe this was the album that was nominated for a South African award.
Nice.
A reggae, yeah. He was nominated that year, 2021. Yes, 2021. So when he sent me the rhythm, it sounded like a reggae popish kind of vibe to it, and very exciting dance type tempo to it. So I immediately was just, oh well, my heart clean and
Yes.
my heart clean, and because I just want to love people, and then again, like I tell you, these concepts come from like my actual lifestyle. Like I live those things, I think about those things like all the time. Like why don't we just want to live in peace and harmony? So we, my thought is that we have to choose love. So when the song comes on, may we all sing and may it become true that we have love in our hearts and our temple clean, no frustration, no negative vibration, you know. And by the way, there was also talk about 5G radiation at that time. So that's why
It's
I
a
added.
real thing. It's a real thing.
That's why I added.
People
That's why I was like,
people think these are like conspiracies or like there's no. This is a real deal.
I didn't know for sure because you're seeing all these things on media. You see the different influences.
Yeah.
So about 5G and how it's gonna, how it can have a negative impact on our bodies,
100%.
the radiation. So that's where the part came, radiation to kill the Hebrew nation. Be strong, because we're fighting for our cause. Again, this was the issue of George Floyd was still in the atmosphere. Be strong, we're fighting for a cause, So this song just was a whole soup of those different events that have been happening. And might I say still happening? Because I'm still seeing, brutality out in the open on camera being filmed, brutality of our people still.
Yes.
So I suppose the song still applies.
It does.
Yes,
it does. It definitely applies. I love the track. I'm gonna play a little bit of it, a little snippet. Maybe 2 tracks back to back. I can't play up the songs full here on Instagram, guys. So if you want to keep it locked here after the reasoning with Abia, I will be playing all her music back to back to back tracks for the next hour. So it'll be from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. I'll be playing all of your tracks that I love and that I specifically curated for this evening. So I'm gonna start with. I think I will start with Seek for, or I guess because we were just talking about it.
All right.
Oh, shoot. My little cat is here bothering me now. I'm going to start with Seek first. I love this track.
Yes, right. I see a light rising beyond the horizon, shining light through the corners of the earth. A light that puts a smile on your face, a light that brings a romance, a light to save the human race, a light of love, bringing redemption. The New Jerusalem, Babylon system from outside.
I love this track, guys. I'll follow it up with Love in My Heart. Just little samples. Just little samples.
I'll be got love in my heart. Love in my heart and temple clean. No frustration, negative vibration, mighty radiation to kill the Hebrew nation. Love in my heart and temple clean. No frustration, negative vibration, radiation to kill the Hebrew nation. Be strong, he's fighting for our cause. Love in my heart and temple clean. No frustration, negative vibration, radiation to kill the Hebrew nation. Israel, be strong. Looking back to where we
Big tracks back to back. Oh, Africa. I love your vibe, Empress. You are amazing. I love talking to you tonight, getting to reason with you, getting to know you better, what makes you who you are. You know, as a strong woman, such a great example. And your lyrics and the message in your music, it's a powerful one. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to speak to me tonight. I would definitely want to hear more about your EP. I want to date. I want to get
Oh,
the
yeah.
singles before you even put them out, so I can, you know. I know it's asking a lot, but I just want to support your movements, you know, and give you the hype that you deserve, of course. Thank you, everybody that's tuned in tonight as well around the world. 228 countries tuning in every single month globally. Thank you, Roots Reggae Hub family around the world for supporting every Melody Mondays. Is there anything that you want to tell us? Oh, I want to ask you one more question. I love asking this question. Tell me something most people don't know about you or would never guess in a million years.
Okay. I hope this is not like too sad, but every time I reach a very high point where I feel like, okay, I'm moving forward. Yes, people are recognizing, people are enjoying my music, people are, something happens. I get a phone call, I get to perform, and whatnot. Like afterwards, there's just flood of doubt that comes in my mind. But you're from a small island though. But you're, no, there's not necessarily a blueprint though. Though we have Nasio Fountain. I don't know if you know him. You know
Wow,
Nasio
really?
Fountain? Yeah, he's from Dominica. I don't know if you know him. Yeah, but there's this flood of doubt that comes every time there's this one step closer to my goals and I get it and then I doubt myself again. I doubt myself again. So you see when I have to learn the patience, I
Yes.
just have to learn to be patient, So and I'm very like behind the scenes, I'm very like insecure and kind of I don't know if the people will like it. I don't know. I don't
Well,
know.
I'm glad you're putting
So
yourself out there because you have a beautiful voice and you have a talent to share with the world. Clearly, you're born with a gift, you know, singing at such a young age. Thankfully, you have a mother that, you know, harnessed this gift, had some training as well in the choir, grew up in the choir. You have a musical family. You mentioned your brother and plays instruments and stuff like that. So, you know, you definitely are on the right path. And I love the path you're on because I'm going to be keeping an eye on every single thing you do and sharing it and playing your music, of course.
thank you
Hi,
so
DJ
much.
Skin. How are you?
He he wants to know if I can sing for real. That's what you know. He wants to know if I can
Do
sing.
you want to sing something for him? It's up to you.
Take me to a place where there is no hurt. Take me to a place where there is no pain. I wanna I wanna go where there is no more suffering. Yeah, yeah. To a place called Zion.
Oh,
All right.
sumptuous. I love your
I,
angelic voice. Thank you for that. You guys heard it here live. You heard it here a cappella with Abia Israel tonight on the Roots Reggae Hub. Thank you again, everybody joining in. Tell them again where they can find you on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Spell it out for the radio listeners as well.
all right. So my website, first of all, where you can find everything, anywhere, like if you want to purchase, if you want to stream the music, my bio, more information about me, that you can find on my website at www.abiyah7, ABIYAH, abiyah7.com. Besides that, check me on social media platforms. If you don't remember any of the tags, just look for my full name, Abiyah Yisrael. So ABIYAH, Abiyah, YISRAEL, Yisrael. So it's like Israel with a Y at the front.
Yes.
Abiyah Yisrael.
And that
So
was a
check me on.
creative choice, that song, that name choice as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot to ask you
Oh
about
yes,
that.
it was.
DJ Skin is asking, how can he play some of your, how can a DJ get some of your music?
Oh, I'll definitely email it to you. Send me your contact, please. I will get you that music. Don't worry.
Yes. All the DJs, big up all the DJs, all the
Big up.
promoters, you know, everybody that is a part of the reggae community, of course, and the Caribbean community and our community at whole, as a nation, as a people, as Africans, all right? And big up all of humanity, all
Oh,
right? Big us up.
oh
At the
yes.
end of the day, we're
Oh yes.
all one big human being, you know? At the end of the day, we are. That's what I do believe that. So,
Absolutely.
yes. Thank you so much for coming on tonight, and we'll be in touch, all right? And have a great rest
For
of your night.
sure. Thank you for having me. I love you guys.
Blessed love, everybody. Good night. One
Blessed
love.
love.